Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Oh, let's look at these they're doing. Where's the other one? Where are you? It should be easy to find. Wait. Oh, there it is. Dawson's Rentals. Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my ranking for all Power Rangers theme songs at the moment. Unlike Sentai and Rider, this one is actually complete because as of this current time, there is no other Power Rangers series on the horizon, and if it does come back, it might not be in the classic format, so this is kind of like a complete ranking of all the themes. I have done this before, but it's been a while since I updated it. I don't even remember what the current series was when I last did it. I almost want to say it was Dino Charge, maybe almost at RPM, Beast Morphers, but I don't know. But this includes MMPR Season 1 through Cosmic Fury. First order of business though, for those of you that watched, I think it was my video where I updated on toy reviews and I wore this hoodie. People were like, you need to wash this hoodie, bro. You're a dirty skank. This is the way it looks. This is supposed to be like a star pattern or something. I don't know. I liked that. I thought it looked cool and unique. It's not dirty. This is the way it's supposed to look. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started ranking all the themes. So coming in at the bottom of the list, and I hate that this is at the bottom because it's so boring to talk negatively about the series, which is Megaforce. You know, I'm so tired of, I can't believe people still complain about this series and are still like, petition to redo Gokaiger, just shut the up. But I don't like the Megaforce theme that much. It's not like it's awful. It was of that era of like grafting the MMPR theme over other themes, and it was like the most basic. I feel that Samurai was pretty basic too, but it had its whole Samurai Forever thing. I think after that, Dino Charge and Dino Fury and all those had a little bit more of their own identity, but this one not only was just using the MMPR theme, but it very much felt like they were grafting over the Samurai theme. It was like a Russian nesting doll of themes, and it just felt so boring and basic, and it's probably the worst variant of it for me. I don't hate it, it's just kind of the most uncreative. However, I will say that this would have made the most sense to bring back the MMPR theme. I guess I get why they did it for Samurai, bringing back Power Rangers. Could you bring back Power Rangers? But it would have made more sense to do that for the anniversary and maybe give Samurai its own theme. After that, another one that I hate talking negatively about just in general, because again, it's a basic opinion, is Overdrive. I mean, we're not talking about the series here, but it's like, God, the groupthink opinion about Overdrive, just, God, could you have an original thought about the theme though? Again, I don't hate this one, I just don't gel with it. Like, Mystic Force and Overdrive, I feel, are two of the more controversial themes because it's like this rap. Oh, this isn't rap? Of the two though, this is the one that doesn't gel with me. Like, I do appreciate its uniqueness, and I kind of like the lyric. I like the lyrics in it, and I think it's unique and I appreciate it for that, but it just never quite gelled with me. After that is RPM. Again, this one I don't hate, and I actually kind of like this one, to be honest. Like, it's really funny and basic, and I believe this is one where we had demo themes that were much better, but this somehow oddly fits the series in a way. I think that's probably because it's been like over a decade now of hearing this theme whenever I watch the show, but it does kind of fit the vibe of the show, and it's not terrible at all in my opinion. It's just rather basic. Like, literally it just says, like, Power Rangers RPM, we stand together, get in gear, and like, that's it. So it's not terrible, just kind of, well, like I said, basic. After that is Ninja Steel. Ninja Steel is a weird one because I feel like it fluctuates. Not that it's ever like on the bottom of the list and then the top of the list, but I feel like it was lower last time. But re-listening to it, it's weird because I do want to give it props for, unlike Megaforce, I feel bringing more of its own identity into the mix, and it has a very unique lyric to it. But it's on this weird scale where I appreciate that it actually conveys a unique tone, at least in a way, but it's also kind of annoying. Like, something about the vocalists or the singer or whatever is just kind of annoying. So it's like, sometimes I like it, sometimes I find it kind of annoying, but at least it's a little bit more creative. After that is Beast Morphers. This is a weird one too because it's very short. I feel like it's just so incomplete feeling. I do like it, and I felt that it was a little bit more different than some of the MMPR grafted ones like Samurai and Megaforce, but it just kind of ranks lower because it does, like I said, feel so incomplete. And it's funny too because there is like a full version, but I listened to it and more or less, at least unless I'm remembering it wrong, I don't know why I got an accent now, but unless I'm remembering it wrong, I didn't even mean to do the accent that time. Unless I'm remembering it wrong, it's like the theme you hear in the show and then just like instrumental and then the theme again. So it's not like the extended version is a revolution. Or revelation? Either way, I've heard it both ways. Following that up with Dino Fury. I do like the Dino Fury theme, but I thought it was going to rank higher than it did re-listening to these. I do really like the kind of beginnings of its own identity. I think that's one thing Dino Fury had going. Like, if you count Samurai through present of the modern era, as the modern era, excuse me, I think Dino Fury was the only one in general, not just talking about its theme song, but its score that had its own identity in a way that was similar to stuff like the Disney era. That was one of my favorite things about the Disney era. Whenever I talk about how much I like the Disney era score, people always bring up that they used royalty-free music. Yes, they did, but that wasn't the whole score. Like, come on, son. Anyway, regardless, that was my favorite era of background music, even above the Wasserman stuff. I like the Wasserman stuff, but I just loved the different instrumentals in the Disney era that gave it its own tone, and the sort of like techno-y, synth vibe of Dino Fury was very unique, and that was very much a part of the theme song as well. I think finally in Cosmic Fury they got to go full on with their own identity, and here was just the beginnings, and re-listening to it, I do like it, but it was actually much more Go-Go Power Rangers than I remembered. Like, I thought Dino Charge actually had more Go-Go Power Rangers in it, but this one definitely felt like it did, which is why it ranked a little bit lower. After that is Turbo. I do like the Turbo theme. You're not part of the Turbo team yet, but I don't know, it's just not one of my favorites. I think it fits the series very well. I love the energy of it, and most of all, my favorite thing about it, now there's a reason, is the dun 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 dun, not because Go-Go Power Rangers is in it, but because of the way they incorporated it, especially after all those years of getting themes where, like I said, I'm using this word a lot. Do not take a shot every time I use the word grafted, unless it's with water. Stay hydrated. Regardless, is this perfect way of incorporating that classic tone without literally putting Go-Go Power Rangers as if you were doing the MMPR theme in there. I'm not saying I would want every season to do this, but if there was some sort of mandate to include this tune in every season, I would rather it just be like that, just a nice little echo of the legacy and not actually putting the Go-Go lyrics in it. So I thought it was a good way of including that in there, but very much being the first series to have its own identity completely with its theme. And then this is just kind of a, like, half placement because it's not really that different, is the Alien Rangers theme. It's literally just the MMPR theme, but with Alien put in there, not the movie. But I only wanted to rank this in here because I do like the MMPR theme overall, and this is more about the creative context. I thought it was just cool that they did this. They didn't have to do it, I'm sure it was pretty easy, but I thought it was really cool that they gave the Alien Rangers their own variant of the theme, as well as their own unique opening sequence that is funny because it highlights the younger cast and the older cast, and I don't think the Alien Rangers have credit cards unless I'm having a Mandela, not credit cards like, oh, the Alien credit card like Batman and Robin, but I mean like face cards. I don't know what to call them. Like, they're not credited in the theme song. Like, you don't see like, oh, Delphine or whatever. But I thought it was really cool that they got their own version of the theme, both in terms of the opening sequence and the song. Right, after that is Samurai. This is one I have really grown to like. I really do still wish that it had gotten its own theme song and not started this trend, which I think kind of robbed a lot of the Neo-Saban era of their own identity. With all that being said, I really do like this version. I think that the Samurai Forever thing is a little bit cheesy, but it kind of gave it its own identity. I love its version of the riff. One of my favorite things about the MMPR theme was the way they used the initial riff as kind of like a little summary of the season and the vibes of it. And I think they did that here as well with the beginning riff, and you kind of see some flashes of the series. I really like that. It's one that I was disappointed at when it first came out, but the more time's gone on, it's one of my favorites of the variants, and I actually do have a little bit of an affection for it. It's like weird that I have some sort of Neo-Saban nostalgia now. Following that up with Dino Charge, this is one I have always liked, but I feel like re-listening to it for this video, I really did appreciate how unique it was. I felt like last time I did this, like I said, I thought that it was more Go-Go Power Rangers-y, and it does have it in there, but I think the Dino Charge elements of it actually shine through, and I think it was the first one of that era to actually feel like it had its own identity, and it definitely feels unique, and I feel like I'm not thinking about so much like, oh, it's another Go-Go Power Rangers thing. I'm thinking, yep, this is Dino Charge. After that, Lightspeed Rescue. Lightspeed Rescue is funny because it's very much a theme that lines up with the way I feel about the series. I mean, like, every time I rewatch Lightspeed, I think I generally feel a little bit different. Like, sometimes I'll like it more, sometimes less, somewhere something in the middle. But regardless of how I felt at the end of any rewatch of Lightspeed, I think my blanket opinion is, even if I'm not as hot on it as some fans, I think it's just an overall really solid season of PR, and that's the way I feel about the theme. It's not exceptionally a favorite of mine, but it's an overall really just solid theme. One thing I did make note of, I didn't do a lot of notes for these because I know of these themes inside and out. Well, not that much, but Inside Out 2, maybe? No, that would be more, wouldn't it? What am I talking about? I did note that Lightspeed had a very memorable theme tune. You know, I talked about the score just a minute ago, but in my opinion, like, in terms of the score eras, Disney's my favorite, followed by, like, the original Wasserman era of MMPR Through in Space, where you had, like, insert songs. But in my opinion, after that, the scores became pretty, like, not that memorable. That was really good way of talking. They became pretty forgettable. That's how you say that, Dawson. Hello, Megan! Oh, it's been a while since I've used that one. They weren't that memorable. They were just a series of tooting horns, like the original Dragon Ball Z soundtrack. There is some I remember, but I feel like they reused a lot of them, and I don't remember any distinct themes outside of Lightspeed. The burr, 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 burr. I think it was the only one of that era that I remember a successful riff tune outside of like Go-Go Power Rangers. After that is Hyperforce. Suck it, Fies fans, I'm including Hyperforce in this. Another one that was like repurposed Go-Go Power Rangers, and I always did like this one because I felt that even the TV-size version you listen to before you start watching an episode had its own unique flair more so than Megaforce. But if you wanted me to wear the pieces of flair, you should have made it mandatory. Listen to the full version for the first time, and this one I think is even better. Like, this was a case where the full version improved my opinion. I think I've always liked this theme, but I think it was lower last time. It's ranking higher now because I think the full version, if you listen to the lyrics and the vibe of it, actually has more of a unique identity than series like Samurai and Megaforce, at least in terms of the lyrics and tones. So yeah, I like this one, plus I have an affection for Hyperforce. Cosmic Fury. This one is very short and sweet. It's like, it took me a while to like form an opinion on it outside of liking it fine, just because I feel like it's over so quickly. But again, it's short and sweet. That's the best way I could find to describe it. And it was nice that it finally like got to feel like it had its own identity. Like I was talking about with Dino Fury, between the score and everything, it felt like that theme was just itching to like ditch the traditional Go-Go Power Rangers and have its own theme. And this felt like Destiny fulfilled with that. After that is Wild Force. I really like the Wild Force theme. I think it's very underrated and unique. I think this also had a different demo theme that I've heard a lot of people prefer. I actually don't remember that one that well. I can remember the Mystic Force demo themes the most, but I probably should have added those to this ranking. Oh well, maybe next time. That'll give it something unique if we never get a new Power Ranger series. Anyway, I really like the Wild Force theme. I've always found it to be very unique. After that, Stronger Than Before, Zeo. This is my favorite, obviously, as you can tell by the rankings, of the MMPR variants, because this was of a time where it wouldn't have been, or it wasn't that weird to just continue using Go-Go Power Rangers, because this was literally the 4th season, and I think it was so well done because with the way that the lyrics and everything was arranged, it has its own identity that is distinctly Zeo, and yet kept the Go-Go Power Rangers because that was what we knew at the time. And I think just between the lyrics and the way the song feels, it just sells the Zeo vibe of, you know, it's a new era, but it's still the Power Rangers, and there was just something special about that transition, and I think the Zeo theme fits that very well. Following that up with Mystic Force, Here Come the Power Rangers Dance. That's what I always hear. I like this theme. I thought about that Joker meme of like, you think the Mystic Force theme is good? Yeah, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. I mean, I know what it's not for everyone. I get it. But for me, I always like this one. It does have a little bit of an annoying voice, like, alright, I got a sinus infection. But I like it. I like the tone. I like the unique lyrics. I like the background music of it. I think this isn't the only reason I like it. I do really like this one. I think it gives it a distinct vibe all its own, and I actually do like the demo themes for this. I don't know which ones I like better, but I do like the demo themes we got for this, and I wouldn't have been mad if we got them, but I really just like this theme, especially over the years. I like that it was unique, kind of like Mystic Force itself. I think it fit with the vibe of the series very well. And like I said, this isn't the sole reason I like it, but the background music, the dun 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 dun, the instrumental, that's what it's called, I lost that word for a second. The instrumental of this is just great, and it fits so well with so many scenes, like when you get the finisher, the dun 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 dun. So yeah, I like the Mystic Force theme, and I don't care who knows it. Ended up with just the MMPR theme. Now, I did do a little mini ranking here. I'm not ranking the opening sequences in this. I will bring them up if it brings up a topic, but I'm not ranking like the visuals and stuff. But my favorite is Season 3, followed by Season 2 and Season 1. I think there was a couple variants of them, like I think Season 2 had pre and post Adam and Aisha variants, but I only brought that up because I always loved the MMPR Season 3 one with the little summary of the events that led to their new powers and stuff, and the Season 2 one, like with the Tommy taking off his helmet, I always remember him going, anyway. That was my little mini ranking, but this theme has been shoved down our throats, you know, between them using new versions of it from Samurai onwards to MMPR being saturated to all hell for the last over a decade now, but you still gotta admit, it's a banger. It's a fantastic theme. Even if I may get sick of MMPR sometimes, I still love the theme. After that, Ninja Storm. I love Ninja Storm. The series in general. Honestly, if I do a rewatch, I'm worried it might be my favorite series, just because In Space has had that spot for so long, but there's just something about Ninja Storm I keep coming back to, and I just love the theme song. It has a very unique vibe to it, which I think absolutely sells that extreme 2003 vibe of the series, that it feels like this movie was a spiritual sequel to Motocrossed, a Disney Channel original movie, which doesn't hold a candle to the greatest movie of all time, Horse Sense, but still, it's a classic. But yeah, I just love the Ninja Storm theme. I think that its whole vibe and everything about it fits the tone of the series. After that, Lost Galaxy, a fan favorite for a reason. I almost thought this was gonna rank higher just because I felt almost obligated. Not that I don't like it, I do love it, obviously it's very high up, but there's just others I've always liked more, but this is an absolutely epic theme. It's probably, I would say, the most epic theme. It just sells this epic feel of adventure. There's definitely something special about this one, and I see why it's so many people's favorite. After that is Time Force. Force. I just like Time Forces a little bit more. There's just something about the energy of it, and I think that the lyrics tell the story of it, in my opinion. Like, there was just something I vibed more about it. In fact, this was one where I listened to Time Force and Lost Galaxy a couple times back to back, because I was trying to decide on the placement. And I think in some ways Lost Galaxy is a little bit better and more epic, but there's just something about the vibe of Time Forces that I just always liked a little more. I'll end that up with probably a controversial one to be ranking above many people's favorites like Lost Galaxy and Time Force is Jungle Fury, but I don't care. This is like a mood booster. Like, if you're ever in a funk or in like a bad mood or depressed, I always pop this on. It puts me in a good mood. It's just got such an infectious energy. I love this theme. I think it's got a great amount of energy, and I just love it. It's like a mood booster. Now, coming in for the top 3 here, we have SPD. SPD's is just fantastic. This was done by Wasserman too, right? So it was a great modern day Wasserman one. And also it had that, you know, that I'm terrible, I'm not musical. But regardless, it also, kind of like Lightspeed Rescue, I think created, I would consider, like, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, obviously the dun 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 is the most iconic tune, but Lightspeed Rescue and SPD are the only ones I can remember a theme tune to. Like, if you were to say hum the theme, that were like an iconic just set of notes comes out of it, you know, like, you know, Superman's theme or Batman's theme or 98 others. But you know what I mean? There are certain themes for characters that you can just hum a few notes and you're like, that's the theme. And SPD is one of the only ones that has that. But also just its whole vibe, I think, fits very well with the style of the series, that kind of comic booky effect they do. Not only just in the opening theme, but in the series. I think it's perfect. Runner-up is Dino Thunder. I think this is one of the most unique themes. I think, does it even have the words go-go in it at all, or go? I don't remember. I know it has it the fewest, but I've always loved this theme. I almost question if it was number 1, just because I love how unique it is. Like, it doesn't have the same rhythm as a lot of the other Power Rangers themes where you have that go-go rhythm to it. It has its very own vibe, where it's almost just like a song. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I love how unique it is. I like that it's able to be so different and stand out in that way, and it doesn't become forgettable, not relying on any like catchy go-go type lyrics or anything like that. And it also very much just fits the vibe of the series. But number 1 for me is In Space. I think it's tied a lot to my like affection for the series being my favorite, unless Ninja Storm steals it. I don't know why I'm scared of that, but regardless, I just like this. I have a question, I'm like, this is my favorite. Like, Lost Galaxy's a little more epic, and Jungle Fury's got that energy, but re-listening to it, there's just something about it that I just love. It's like kind of the quintessential evolution of my like of the Wasserman music, and starting with the countdown and the energy of it. For some reason, I always get Go Fly Win mixed up with it, like just in terms of, I think certain lyrics of Go Fly Win are in the theme, but it's not. But yeah, this is still my favorite. It just kind of gels perfectly with it being my favorite series and my favorite theme. But that is just my list. Let me know your ranking, or at least maybe your top 5 or 3 in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.